The Adventures of David Perkins. Like, subscribe, comment. Hello and welcome to the Adventures of David Perkins. This time I'm walking around Caister Roman Fort and Bure Castle in the county of Norfolk in England. Caister Roman Fort was built about the year 200 as a base for Roman army and navy units. The fort held a garrison of up to 1,000 soldiers, whose job it was to protect the coast against sea raids from the northwest of Europe. The fort occupied a small island on the north side of a large estuary, where the rivers Ant, Bure, Yare and Waveney entered the sea. These rivers were important routes to the towns and farms of East Anglia. Most important of these towns was Caistor-by-Norwich, about 25 miles away. Some time after the year 260, another fort was built on the opposite side of the estuary, at Bure Castle. Bure Castle served to protect merchant ships in the estuary and to support military operations. The forts of Caister and Bure were under the command of the Count of the Saxon Shore, as documented in the Notitia Dignitatum, an official list of all military commands recorded at the end of the 4th century. The Notitia Dignitatum reveals that Bure was garrisoned by the Stablician cavalry unit, and crop marks outside the walls indicate that Bure was supported by an extensive civilian settlement. The two forts were successful in protecting the coast from sea raids, but by the year 367, Saxon raiders were making concerted attacks on the east coast of Britain, and the forts began to be overstretched. And by the end of the century, the Roman military began a complete withdrawal from Britain. The monk chronicler, Bede, records that in about the year 630, Sigebert, king of the East Angles, gave land to St. Furse to found a monastery. The site was a Roman fort then called Colperisbur, which may have been Bure Castle, and there is evidence of Saxon occupation and a cemetery inside Bure Castle dating from this period. Caister Fort also shows signs of Saxon activity dating from the 7th century, with a large cemetery situated to the south of the fort.